It's Monday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Nima Akashat Zabiri.
Good morning.
How are you doing? How was your weekend?
Today is 1st of August, so let me say it's my birth month. I want to do what
Hey.
And
Happy
this year,
New Month.
yes, so and this year's birthday, I want to collect gifts.
Hey.
So I'm announcing.
Well done.
But the gifts, the flyers will come out. The gifts will be channeled to the Dorcas Cancer Foundation.
Okay.
So this year, it's my children's. My children are a priority to me this year. My children adopted at the Cancer Foundation. We've been having issues with funding, and I want to do something deliberately towards that this year. So if you do a donation to the Dorcas Cancer Foundation and I get to see it, you might just have lunch with me on my birthday this year.
Nice.
That's
Meet and greets. Nice.
Lovely. Yeah.
I like that. I like your top. How are you doing?
I'm very good.
This is Louisa.
No, actually, T-Smart from way back.
Beautiful. Lovely.
Yes, T-Smart from way back.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I met a few people over the weekend that don't know that I do real estate. Please. That's what is feeding the badges and putting, making us shine.
I didn't know.
But more importantly, from today, the 1st of August to the 7th of August, I have a 7-day overdose promo. So go on social media, get details about the promo. It's going to make it easy for people to own their land because that's what I do. In case you don't know, I sell land and I have a deal. Go online and check the deal out. Then come and tell me you have acquired property from us.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like your nails.
Yeah. It's a new month. I wanted to do hair too, but my house girl took her off, so I couldn't
I
go
wanted
to
to
the
do
salon.
nails too, but I've not recovered from the last
Yes,
one.
take a break. I usually do that. I take a break.
It's really hurting, you know?
Take a break. Just like 3 weeks.
Telling you it's pain. I don't want to go to that pain. How are you doing,
Honestly,
BC?
I'm doing amazing.
Of your
I'm
Jiluku
doing
Bo.
amazing. I like what Okwe just did this morning. Sometimes people will chat to me like, I like what you're wearing. Where can I get it? I'm like, I sell it now.
And now because you went on the channel,
I sell it now.
Not before humility.
But that's not my banter. I had friends over this weekend.
Nice.
It was a lovely girls' time because Oga was in Ghana for an event. And so he left the house empty. My kids are with their grandparents
Name
on holiday.
Name this girlfriend. Let us
And my
know.
husband too was not around. Not invite me.
Name this girlfriend. Let us know.
No. My coaching. I just
Okay.
wanted to treat them
Because I was gonna
after
say,
the event we had.
Girlfriends.
But I'm cutting new friends again.
Hey, girlfriends.
You guys are my
Girlfriend.
friends for life.
Okay.
So we had a good
family.
time. Yeah, coaching family. We had a good time in the house. It was just a time of awakening. So we're recharging ourselves. We needed to take that break. Share ideas, strategize and everything.
Nice.
It was fun.
Fantastic.
And Oga came back yesterday. And all of them disappeared into their rooms. With speed and alacrity.
Nice. My brother took me out on Friday night. Took me out to
I saw
fine
the
dining.
food.
Yeah.
I was like,
I was like, this small boy, you can't marry you. This one is just taking me out. I said, I'm not your girlfriend. He said, no, Mariah, I just want to take you out. I'm like, okay.
Hey,
So
yeah.
he took me out to dinner on Friday. And Saturday was Adeswa's 50th birthday party. Desa is one of the people that she's a huge mentor to me. She's a director, guides me. All right, I run away with lots of time, but she finds a way to pull me back. But on our 50th birthday, yes, on Saturday, we had fun at Eco Hotel. And then yesterday, a friend of mine was doing a remembrance for her father who died many years, about 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And so there was a party yesterday. It was just party, like all weekend, back to back. And from there, I went to go and visit a family member.
Oh, my God.
I went to go and visit a family friend. We're in his house, just seeing. I went to his house. Like, I've never been to his house. My husband talked about his house. When I went to his house, I was like, oh my God. It was such a beautiful place. I had fun yesterday. I mean, this weekend was fun.
That's cool, yeah.
It was packed,
in
but it was
Lagos?
fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I had fun. And I learned something that Nigeria's problem is not corruption. It's discipline. You need to think about that. It's a really deep statement. We're not disciplined in any area of our lives.
I agree.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the papers. If we can find them, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
We're going to start with The Nation. Planned attack, security on alert in Lagos and Enugu. New NNPC states face cash crunch. Report CBN would devalue Naira, says Emefiele. Niger others plead with G20 for debt service extension. 2023, we will back power shift to south, says Pandef. Union criticizes government takeover of 5 discos, and 18 Fiat killed in bandits, vigilance groups clash. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Maybe the 18 Fiat killed.
Yes, please.
So according to the story, it said no fewer than 16 suspected bandits and 2 vigilantes were reportedly killed in a clash in Bangalala area of Wase local government area of Plateau State. And they said Bangalala is about 100 kilometers from Wase town, headquarters of the local government. And that village has been under severe attacks and control of the bandits, kidnappers, cattle rustlers that have forced many people to flee their homes. Now, the incident occurred when the vigilantes took the fight to the Bangalala village, which has been under the control of bandits for some time. And they said they decided to take the fight to them because they couldn't just be sitting down while these people come and fight them. And at the end of the day, resulted to some of them being killed. They said the vigilantes also, aside from confronting the assailants, it was more like trying to fish out some of their den. They wanted to find out where they were really based and, fight them. But the Shapi Sambo, a youth leader in Wase, confirmed the incident, saying people had no option than to join forces with the security agencies to assist and fight these bandits, to help the communities, because most of them are running away from their homes as a result of this fight. But they said they had deployed soldiers to find out what really happened. So far, the soldiers have not found any of the vigilantes or any of the bandits that claimed that they were dead.
So let me take the major headline. Since the spike, July 5th, where about 64 Boko Haram commanders and about 400 other inmates were released from the Kuje prison or escaped from the Kuje prison, there's been heightened security issues across the country. So there have been, even Area Onakakanfo yesterday raised an alarm saying that there are terrorists in the Oshun and Ogun forests. Also, the Nasarawa governor, Abdullahi, Abdullahi Sule was saying that terrorists that were fleeing Zamfara, they were fleeing Niger, Kebbi, and Kaduna, were regrouping within his own state. And this also came to Lagos, where the commissioner of the Lagos State Police Command was saying that security agents have been placed on alert because they've also gotten the reports that terrorists are coming down south, and they're saying that we shouldn't lose sleep because they've alerted security agents to ensure security of Lagosians across the state. However, across the country, security has been heightened. Security levels have been heightened because of this impending invasion of these terrorists.
Nigeria and other G20 nations are asking for debt service extension. They're asking for a 2-year debt service extension. This includes the Minister of Finance of Ghana, Senegal, Egypt, and on behalf of African Ministers of Finance and Central Bank governors, they've written a letter to the IMF as well as the AU and the World Bank. They're asking that, in their letter, they called it immediate liquidity support, akin to global response during the COVID-19 pandemic to help support our economies. They said that at the end of the G20 debt service suspension initiative in December 2021, it meant that countries that are due to resume payments on their debt obligations despite deteriorating global context, particularly for middle and low-income economies on the African continent. They are also asking that the IMF looks into what they call debt service relief to poorest nations and wipe out debt for poorest nations under what they call the Catastrophic Containment Relief Trust. They're asking IMF to also waive such charges for countries with large borrowings, which covers Nigeria particularly. Don't reach that stage. We're also looking at the debt relief arrangement is brought back so that some countries are totally relieved of their debts. That's basically the entire essence of the letter.
Yeah. I think it makes sense. Still within the economy, there are speculations that because of the challenges of unavailability of Naira, that they might devalue the Naira. But the CBN, there's a report that came out that the CBN isn't going to devalue the Naira anytime soon. The last time the Naira was devalued was May 2021. And the conversation now, according to the figures they're getting from CBN, is that there will not be any devaluing of the Naira. At least the price will remain 419 to $1 and 425 to $1 through to the end of 2022. The expectation is this stability is needed that even though there is pressure on the naira, on the dollar, naira for dollar, and even though because of electioneering we might not get a lot of cash inflow because people are scared about which way Nigeria would swing, they will still maintain the official rate at 4.19 and 4.25 to a dollar. If you remember, as at 28th of July last month, we had dollar selling for 717 naira, though by the end of the next day, it was 707 naira to a dollar, but they said they would not be devaluing the naira anytime soon.
Okay, moving on now to Punch. Stranded applicants lament, seek extension, INEC adamant. Wife of Nigerian killed in Italy demands justice. National Assembly proposed 63 new varsities, experts kick. Terror, Lagos police and Moteko on alert. Nigeria needs leader who can take tough decisions, says Oshiomhole. NNPC remits 2.7 billion naira to CBN in 6 months. FG failed to provide 100 billion naira electricity subsidy, says Discos. All right, so let me start with the human interest story. There was a man, trying to get his name here. He was killed by an Italian man in Italy. His name Alika Ogochukwu was killed by an attacker, Filippo Felazzo, while he was begging. So the issue was that Alika was begging for alms consistently, and Filippo attacked him and murdered him in cold blood, right in front of onlookers, and they did nothing to stop him.
Wow.
And he's been arrested over the weekend, and his wife did a video asking that justice must be served. It come that the Nigerians in the Diaspora Commission has also confirmed the development that via the Twitter handle of Abike Rewa, saying that the man has been arrested. According to him, it says that the incident occurred on a busy street in front of shocked onlookers, some of whom made videos of the attack while no one made
This problem is worldwide.
It's worldwide.
So everybody wants to kill now.
Arrested, but she's doing the video insisting that justice must be served because she doesn't want a situation whereby they sweep the matter under the carpet, because they kept, in the reports, in the Italian report, they kept saying that the man was begging for arms continuously, trying to suggest possibly
that he was
harassing someone.
Does that
praying that justice is served. He's actually 39-year-old, beaten to death. Young man, trying to make a living. Okay, another story in Punch.
Yeah, so we know that the government has ended the voter registration yesterday.
Despite all the protests.
Really? Yes, finally. You know, they were supposed to have ended it at 31st of June, but there was a lot of appeals. Several parts of file a suit, and at the end of the day was moved to the 31st of July, and that ended yesterday. But a lot of people were still not able to register. They said across states there were lots of queues. People were not able to register. You come as early as 5 a.m. and it will still get to your turn in the evening. And everybody's, asking that they still extend it because a lot of people will be disenfranchised. However, INEC is saying that we cannot extend it because we need to now begin to collate and print the voters' card so that people can vote. And if we extend it, we may not be able to ramp up everything before the 2023 elections. I don't know how they can do this because a lot of people are really disenfranchised.
It's been on for over a year now, almost 2 years to register.
Some people this month is their 18th year birthday. They have a right to vote by next year.
But the truth is that if we have to, the schedule will be moved. So we have to discipline. Get back. Our problem is discipline. When you don't do the things at the right time, it's indiscipline. They've told us to register for long, and it has to close, and we have to move on. Okay, let's move on. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with the review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing the papers. Topper had a story.
Yes. So the newspaper, the Punch, reported that there are 63 bills have been tabled before the Senate for new universities, polytechnics, colleges of education since the beginning of the shutdown of activities in the public. Since the schools went on strike, just big grammar to say, since the strike happened, 63 new bills have been pushed to create new universities. And As we have of today, there are 49 federal universities, 59 state universities, and we currently have 111 private universities on ground. The challenge now is the protest is the lawmakers are proposing the bill for new polytechnics. The professor from Adekunle Ajashin, Ondo State, Victor Olumeko, faults this move, saying that it is wrong, that it is not about the number of university, but the capacity for the university to do what it is meant to do. That as an academic, it doesn't support the opening of more universities, and it doesn't support the fact that they're passing the bills for this at a time when it is not in the interest of the public because the universities are on strike. So we're waiting to see if they would listen to a few of the protests or they will open it up before it gets approved. But I don't think that we should. I believe we need more universities, but I don't believe that it is about numbers, but about the quality. And so we should focus on increasing the quality of what we have on ground.
Yeah, but there are lots of children that are not
they won't even get,
so
yes.
We didn't need to. Yeah, go ahead.
The discos have reacted to the planned takeover of some of their discos by the federal government. So through the office of the Executive Director, Research and Advocacy, and Chief Sunday Oduton, he said that the federal government has shortchanged the discourse. They said that in this takeover that was done through the BPE, number one is that they were shortchanged because the insufficient and unreliable data was what was provided before the privatization process. And government also committed to and failed to deliver on debt-free financial books, payment of ministries, departments and agencies, electricity debt, and a 100 billion naira electricity subsidy that the federal government failed. So those MDAs, the ministries, most of them didn't pay for electricity use. And the federal government committed to that, they didn't do that. And they also didn't pay a 100 billion naira subsidy. So to say that this discourse failed and so it will be taken over is a kind of scam arrangement. That's where the words.
Insecurity ministers, senators, reps avoid state, seek refuge in Abuja. United Nations report, Nnamdi Kanu's family tackles northern groups. Anglican Church fumes over APC's Muslim ticket. Northern Can hits Buhari National Assembly hard over insecurity. Forex crisis, fresh facts reveal NNPC $2.7 billion remittance to its CBN account in 6 months. NDLEA intercepts 2.7 million tramadol tablets in London. Dubai-bound drugs in Lagos. How to rescue economy from ruins by experts. And terrorists occupying Oshun Ogunvores, says Gani Adams. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Yes, so Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba land, Gani Adams, is raising the alarm over the state of insecurity in the country, saying that Nigeria is already sleepwalking into a collapse. And he said that this is as a result of the chronic pain inflicted on the country by the inaction and connivance of those in authority with terrorists and undesirable elements in the polity. And he said aside from what is even happening concerning insecurity, where we hear that there's this a raid here, there are bandits attacking here, and the next thing that happens is that the government or the president will just call the security chiefs, give them a warning, and moves on, and nobody's being punished for what is happening. And aside from that, we also have an economic crisis, which, he talked about the dollar rising to above 700. People are struggling with the economic crisis as well as insecurity. And he was calling out on the 6 governors of the Southwest, saying that they know that these people are planning to come into states like, said that they are coming into Lagos, they are coming into Oyo, and I think about most of the states in the Southwest. Yeah. And this is the time that the governors need to come together and find ways to set up community sort of policing to help secure their people. Right. Amotekun needs a lot of support in this time. They should not just sit down and wait for the federal government to do something about insecurity. We see what has been happening in Abuja. Seems like the federal government has failed in securing the Federal Capital Territory, and we cannot allow that to happen in the Southwest.
400 inmates on the loose. Yeah. 400. 400.
Criminals and suspected criminals. Yeah. Criminals and suspected criminals. Yeah. The combination of them.
63 Boko Haram confirmed.
Confirmed.
So, like,
like confirmed terrorists. Let me take the story of
okay,
NDLEA.
go ahead, please.
So the NDLEA has caught another set of people trying to move drugs out of Nigeria, this time tramadol. They said the total value of the tramadol was worth 2.7 million naira.
That's small now.
It was,
dollars,
the weight is about 1.6.
Are you sure it's dollars or naira?
Naira.
2.7 million and 50.
Okay,
Naira.
go
Naira.
ahead.
Is Naira. And 1.6 kilogram of...
No, 2.7 million tramadol.
Tramadol tablets.
Not the amount.
2.7 million tramadol tablets. It is worth 1 billion.
I said 2.7 million at London. You okay?
It is worth 1 billion. 1 billion, over 1 billion naira. 1,375,000,000
Now you are talking.
naira. So they found it on the way to London, on the way to Dubai. Nigerians trying to package these things. There's a Miss Gloria Osenemese was intercepted on her way to Dubai through Rwanda, but she was found in Nigeria carrying these inside gari, packaged cassava products, but inside them she embedded tablets of tramadol. And she claimed that the bag was given to her by someone who she passed the night with in his house before coming to the airport, that she was up to deliver to someone in Dubai. And that was her own story, you know, but it's very, very... Yeah, we're to this particular one, but, you know, it's just really sad that people keep still trying despite the fact that they're getting caught. Maybe we should start implementing maybe like capital punishment.
Punishments, death sentence by hanging.
Okay,
You know that once they catch you, they hang you.
Okay, let me move to the point. Nigerians groan as economy moves in near coma. Killings, Kogi governor suspends Ohi of Eganyi, sends strong warning to council chairman. Man impersonates cashier in banking hall, disappears with customers 2.2 million naira. Threats by terrorists send jitters across Nigeria. Airline operators groan, count their losses. Okay, which story?
The man, yes. So there's this commercial bank in Osogbo, Osun State. Recently, an elderly man lost his money, about 2.2 million naira, because there's this impersonator, I want to get his name, Idris Balogo, a 38-year-old man, who disguised as a bank staff. He dressed up like a bank staff and then was parading. And when he saw this man filling out his teller, he just asked him, I can help you. Collected the money, collected the teller, and disappeared. After a few minutes, the man was looking for, I've never even heard it yet. Looking for the person he paid to. He couldn't find it. But a month later, they were able to get him, and he's been arraigned in court. So I
know now you sign now. Now you sign, and then they do facial recognition to check that you're the one collecting. How can you feel teller and then you just collected your body? Please, let me take the story of PANDEF. So the Pan-Niger Delta Forum has reiterated the support for the election moving to the south, said that as opposed to the PDP, which is the main opposition party, that did not conform with the arrangement that if he goes to the north, he should go to the south, that so they would rather support APC because they supported the concern of a southern presidency, and they were reiterating that the spokesperson, the National Publicity Secretary, Mr. Ken Robinson, said the group may back APC for respecting the cardinal demands of the South and Middle Belt Forum in the power rotation agreement. For us, our personal view is that we have just two main parties, APC and PDP, and the PDP not obeying the rules of zoning would not have our support. That's from the PANDEF spokesperson.
Oh. Okay, so the governor of Kogi State has suspended the monarch, the Ohi of Eganyi, and the chairman of Jakuta Traditional Area Council, Alhaji Musa Achuja, with immediate effect following the killings that happened in that area. And he has issued a warning to all traditional rulers that if it is heard that anybody is romanticizing, that's the word, any criminal elements within their domain, serious actions will be taken against them with immediate effect. He also directed that the chairperson of the Ajakuta local government, Honorable Mustafa, be queried over the breach and should reply within 24 hours. This is to forestall any of such in the area. He says that they should not be seen with criminal elements and they will not put up with it in the state.
That's decisive. That's leadership immediately. You see it, you do it. You don't just wait and have meetings and discuss committee to agree and discuss. Suspend it first. Yes.
And even also extended it to the DPO of Jakarta.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's all we can take on front page review. When we come back, move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So mixed reactions have continued to trail the viral video showing ex-militant and the leader of the Niger Delta People's Volunteer Force, Asari Dokubo. In the video, he was seen brandishing his heavily armed troops as he walked to an event with his entourage. Part of his entourage were non-state actors bearing rocket-propelled grenades, general-purpose machine guns, AK-47s, and all. What are your thoughts on this, on the back of the fact that many have complained of the influx of arms into our country, the proliferation of arms to non-state elements? People who have guns are coming into, we just had an issue recently where Kuje prison inmates were set free. We're having issues where in Abuja, criminals have been let loose. And now we're seeing a man walking through a town with not just AK-47s, but serious ammunition, like somebody going to war. What are your thoughts on this? Do we still have a nation? Is this still a country? Are there still rules? Do we have leadership? Please call us, because we don't even know where to start this conversation. You can call us on 081-270-536-870-9139-076-948. You can tweet to us on TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. And I'm almost frustrated of talking because it's like all we do, the only ammunition we have is to talk.
Our mouth.
And I will never advocate that we stop talking, because they will say, we're not telling Nigerians, not telling each other the truth. We tell each other the truth every single day, but nobody seems to be listening. What are your thoughts when you saw that video? Who are those people? Who are they? Are they policemen? Are they security operatives? Are they ex-army? What exactly are they?
What question are you asking?
No, I'm asking now because I don't know who those people are.
Asari Dokubo is no small man. He's an ex-militant. And this is what, he was known for. The guys around him, those weapons are not new to him. They are well-trained. They know what to do with those weapons. And when I saw the video over the weekend, my fear was, YK was talk about how if we lose our democracy and our structure of governance, we'll fall back to local warlords. This is a local warlord. In the Joy area, they never born you. When you call their name without voice, with respect, with humility. There's not, even the government in power know better than to belittle Asari Dokubo. And so when you see him doing this is a kind of reminder. I don't know what they are asking for this time around, but this is probably a reminder to the people in power. But we did here. We still
we are the powers that be.
We are the powers that be. And whatever kind of deterioration of our unity, our sovereignty that we have, that has gotten us to bring these guys back. Asari had left this country a while. Went to start a school in Benin Republic, his university. He's piped low for a while, just, reduced it to just comments. To comments. The ex-militants were given amnesty. They went under that policy. They surrendered their arms and ammunition. They said they surrendered their arms and ammunition. And we would expect that sanity will be maintained by any government. The fear of this coming back and us reducing to local warlords is not something that
Let me come to you. Your thoughts. BC, what happened?
So, what I see here is that when a system is not working, when a system is not functional, everybody takes advantage of the loopholes to show forth their power. So everybody's looking around and they say, okay, it seems like a particular set of people are doing so and so, and the government is really not doing anything about it. Why do I want to suppress myself if I can still do my own since the government is not paying attention? That's taking advantage of the inadequacies of government and, you know, showing, because after all, there's no system. Who will hold me? I will point that you have not held this, you have not held that, you have not held this. Why do you want to hold me? But in everything, I would have wanted him as a person to calm down.
Who?
Because,
Asari?
yes, because it wasn't a ceremony he was going for, I don't know. Was he going to fight somebody? I have no idea. The entourage around him was just too much for whatever ceremony it is that they were going for. In a country that we know that we are trying to ramp up people who have guns, every day we read in the papers that the government is catching this person, they are taking so and so ammunitions, we are trying to find where the sponsors are coming from, even though they are not even sincere in telling us who these sponsors are, because I believe that they know them. But it will seem like you're not paying attention to how the government is trying to secure the nation, and everybody just wants to, because everybody can actually be a warlord. Every faction of the country have their people who they can say, okay, since it's happening like this, let us protect ourselves. And I know that the excuse may be, probably he's afraid that if he goes out alone, that people will come after him. Nobody's safe right now. And everybody tries as much as possible to, you know, protect themselves. But I feel this is a bit too much for him on the streets to go out with that. Will I call it audacity now? As in, on the streets, no police can come, no military on the streets.
You don't know who Asari Dokubo is.
Now what?
You don't know who Asari Dokubo is.
I do.
These are people that the president at the time had to negotiate with them because they held the country to a ransom. And the thing is, with all due respect, this is what you get when you don't deal with one crisis. In another form, it will rear its head. So when you have banditry, you have Boko Haram, we treat terrorism with kid gloves, we have commercialized kidnapping into a full-time work. People have left their farms. People have left being cattle rearers to now say their job is to be a kidnapper. People have created a career.
It should, in our GDP, we should include banditry because obviously it's
revenue. The train attack alone, 100 million naira being paid almost for. I'm like, where are they getting this? I had to sit down and I was meditating on 100 million naira that is being paid by all the people that are being released. And how much that will do for my 360 as a real estate company, how many people I would employ, the ripple effects in the economy if we had let that money circulate. But we could have raised that money. What am I saying? We had an issue with the Niger Delta militancy. It was a legitimate fight, even though we don't like how they went about it. There was a system to resettle them. But now, this is in response to the fact that they are legit. There's a threat to this nation. I don't think we understand. Some people came on an international platform to declare threats against our president, threats against states. People left, children have left schools in panic. People in Abuja cannot go to work. There is a crisis. So if this man says that he's going to a party and people are carrying those kind of sophisticated weapons to show that you cannot dare come to my own zone. That is where people are going to now. Everybody start looking for how to get guns. It is self-help approach now because the government seems to be unable to handle the situation.
You reminded me of something. You see, sometimes when things get to this level, we need to take a few steps back. Where did we start from? I remember when Sheikh Gumi was saying we should discuss with these guys because we gave Niger Delta amnesty. That we should have a conversation. Everybody objected. No, how can you do that? Well, they're not the same thing. They're different things. Everybody, these guys, these bandits are saying, some of them, not just the bandits, these people that are kidnapping are saying that they came into the country because on the premise that they'll be giving social amenities or something like that. They have a grouse against the Buhari's government specifically. So Sheikh Gumi was saying, let us have a conversation with these people. What do they want? Because now it has degenerated. He himself is tired of going to negotiate for us. So now everybody, all the various ministers across the country are already raising their heads. So should we go back to negotiation
We're not
table?
even talking to one person anymore, Morayo.
They're not
It's
more
not like
people.
you are
They're morphed into different groups.
So
they are everywhere.
That was the grounds of do not negotiate with them, because you won't finish negotiating. They don't have one face. The Niger Delta militants, even at the time, even though they had their different factions, they had a common ground, so they could be called. But you see the terrorists in the north, they don't have one face. And what you see, the people that know kidnapping, these bandits think they know kidnapping. The people who know it, the originators of it, are the militants in the Niger Delta. They kidnapped every foreign-looking expatriate in the Niger Delta. They know the business. And our government seems to sit down and think that these people don't know what to do. If you continue to pay bandits, the people who originated kidnapping will say,
this thing is more lucrative. Let's go back.
Now we start this business now. We know them. You know that kind of thing. And you allow them come out and start more problems before you know it. This problem, God forbid, it becomes too difficult to solve. And then we now resort to locally protecting and policing. Which local police, which state police want to combat Asari and his boys? This was not die before. They're not afraid of death. I think the government now should be asking, and the DSS, what was the work of SSS and DSS?
My sister, I'm even lost.
What job did they create them for? Before you say you have an intelligence on anything, the DSS has it. They should know why Asari will do a display of his might in his area. This display is a warning. That's what I know.
So the people, it's in response now.
But
this display happened after there was a report saying that they are everywhere.
Let's leave Asari, let's leave militants, let's leave all of them. Talking about us, the people, how do we feel about seeing this? How does it make a Nigerian citizen feel? Do you feel secure in your country? Do you feel your country is actually ensuring your safety? I mean, because aside from because sometimes these militants are there. They are in their corners. We don't see them. They know they might have all their
do this on the streets.
But they're not coming out on the streets. It's a whole different ball game.
Before we see Tompolo,
I'm going to break because the conversation for me is not so much about Asari. If you have your gun, do your thing yourself. But coming out on the streets is a whole other communication to me as a citizen. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So I asked the question before the break that how does this make us feel? Because sometimes we need to get to the root of not just what we see, but how it makes us feel as a country, as a nation. So Dokubo was going to answer that question.
Yes.
Seeing that display, do you think the people feel safer or the people feel threatened?
If I am living in that community and I've been following the news and I've seen how a group of bandits have said that they have penetrated everywhere, they are going to attack everywhere, seeing an Asari Dokubo carry those arms, I'll feel safe that I have someone on my side who will defend me when the bandits and terrorists come. That's the feeling I feel people in the community will get. They will also get a feeling of, I must be on the good side of this man. I would rather obey this man. Because this man has shown me he has power.
He can protect me.
He can protect me. I would obey this man. So what has happened there is someone has won the confidence of the people. There's a very high likelihood that someone has won. If I'm there, I would feel that way because I know that if I call the 911, if I call the emergency number, maybe they will say they don't have diesel or they are trying to get things together. But maybe this man might be the phone number I should have. Because if I'm in this community and I call him, these are the kind of guns that will show up to protect me.
If we want, for example,
there's a feeling of safety.
So juxtapose that with Lagos. So, for example, now MC Oluomo now comes and gets guns. Would you not feel safe? I said, let's not start something we cannot finish. If we assume like it's Asari in a community making you feel, should we start getting some boys in different areas? Okay, would Lagosians in their own various communities feel safer?
When somebody
within Koshafe has...
We're already doing it. How did we handle, as a child, I grew up in Amod in Mile 2 Estate, when they were robbing, they robbed our house, they were doing door-to-door, they wrote letter, they were coming. Like terrorists have written letter that they are coming. What did we do? We called OPC. We paid them. They came with their guns and their cutlasses, and they protected us. we did not get attacked
So who's
again.
fooling who? That state police is not what we need.
So we are already using vigilance, we're already helping ourselves.
The difference, you have started.
You know what I'm saying? Because
it's a form of state policing.
1 second now, it's a form of state policing.
It's a form of state
because
policing.
if you cannot trust the federal government or the center to protect you, but you rather an Asari Dokubo in your community that you know that you can trust, then who is fooling who? Then we
So you know we don't like to tell ourselves the truth.
Absolutely.
The federal government's policing system cannot protect Nigerians. They have failed in that. They are not ready to protect Nigerians. I want to use that word, and I know why I'm using those words. Because they should know that they do not have the capacity. In terms of number, they don't have it. How many policemen do we have for over 200 million Nigerians?
And some of them with VIPs.
It's a game of numbers. We need to match the numbers. We don't have it. The ammunitions that we need, we don't have it. The sort of trainings that we need to equip these people, we don't give it. The sort of welfare, we don't give it. So who are we deceiving by telling them that the federal government can take care of you? It's obvious they cannot. Now, we are talking about self-help. Every community saying, CO, it's only us that can protect ourselves. Right now, before you call on this one, they don't have fuel, like you mentioned, they don't have this, they don't have this. No, you need to come and report a case that they see koro in there before. You need to come and make a statement first. We don't have all of that. And we're saying that we can, within ourselves, we have local boys who around the street, vigilante, that will say, okay, come and stay in so place. We'll equip you with this. And they help. Yeah. You hear them ringing bells in the middle of the night.
I'll come to you, I'll let you respond.
No, I'm not finished, though. Take your call and come back.
Let me take Yakub. Good morning, Yakub. Are you there?
Yeah, Morayo, I'm there.
Good morning to you all.
I don't know, maybe you can give me just 2 minutes because I have a lot of things to say. Morayo, see, because of the time, I totally agree with all of you in the studio. Why? And then I'm not surprised that Asari is coming out like this. Why? Because is that this is the government tell us that they know who the sponsor of Boko Haram is. Up to today, they were not mentioned it to us. And then the government as a whole, since 2010, get the criminal, the hardened Boko Haram get arrested. They keep them in Kuje prison. They were not executed them until they were free. So what do you think? And then let me give you a just simple story here. Morayo, I traveled back home of recent. When we are talking about kidnapping, it is not only Fulani kidnapping now. Even the Yorubas. I can tell you that even the Yorubas, because they attempted to kidnap one of my friends, at the end of the day, they failed in the 4th time. And then I give kudos to Amoteku boys. And then when they failed this thing, the Amoteku beginning to monitor this guy. And then they were not telling the boy they were monitoring him. Do you know these people attempted to kidnap him again? And then Amoteku guys, they arrested them. When they begin to mention who behind it, the people that we know in our village, they behind all those guys. They begin to pick that they pick almost 10 people that we know in the village. So almost 8 people and then 2 Fulani among of them. So what are we talking about? I totally agree with Obi. Nigerian government can never police all the Nigeria. It's better we go to state police.
Thank you very much, Jacob. Let me come to Nima because I know that you have...
There's a wide difference between state police and what the OPC offered. I don't know what you saw, but I saw the excesses. I remember that I was living in Ibadan State at the time. If you lived in Ibadan State, the excesses was as bad as the power to rape a girl and there will be no consequence.
Yes.
That happened when we wrote GC in 2008. I am saying from experience, I'm not telling anybody's story, it's my own that I know. That the family of that girl can point to the boy who raped their daughter and he will say that the boy's family will say, what do you want to do? Let her come and marry and she'll continue an oppressive circle. That I saw. So these people, let's go back to Niger Delta. When they started in Niger Delta, they were offered amnesty. They were offered the NDDC to create. Who was paid? The communities or the warlords?
Warlords.
The warlords.
So they use terror to get their monies. They are not fighting any... you trust them. They are not fighting your war. You go clear for your high when they share money. Nobody is fighting your war. You need a civilized agency of government, structured democratically to protect you. Something that when something happens, you can take the person to a court and hopefully you can get justice. When you come to these people, it's one man's judgment. You cannot get justice. So you think that an Asari boy will kill a family's son and he will kill his boy? Is that how it works?
Absolutely.
Warlords don't protect nobody. They protect their own selfish interest.
So absolutely. You are 150% correct. What we're trying to say is that there's a need for a closer policing, albeit organized.
Yeah.
So we don't want to see whereby the excesses is what we are saying. No, there are those ones that are not structured, that they have the excesses. What I'm saying, an organized state policing system that will protect you and protect me is what we're saying. We're not saying that Asari's militancy is here to protect.
I started by saying that this system, we saw what went wrong with the system when it happened earlier. And even people felt that the basis for kidnapping bandits asking to be funded and brought back was because we had done it with the militants. So they felt, if you do it for militants, you can do it for us too. That's one of the problems that we have. And once we start with one person, we'll be continuing it to be spiraling. But when you are faced with the fact that your life is at risk with bandits and external forces, you will say, the devil I know is better than the angel I don't know. So that for me is one of the challenges. BC mentioned that we don't have enough forces to fight the personnel to fight the crisis we're facing. Our personnel are still being used as VIP, even though the IG has said over and over again they should be withdrawn. They are still used as VIP. Number one. Number two, we're facing a criminal that they are willing to die for their cause. They know that as I'm going out, I will not come back home, and they are willing to go. So fighting those kind of people requires a different kind of intelligence. Yeah. So as the Asari Dokubo show of force, we can sit down here and say that we don't agree with it. But the people in the community might feel like, this is someone close to us. I know him. He knows me. He knows
I better be his friend.
And I better be his friend. It's not a solution. It's not a long-term solution. It is in no way a solution.
They might live in terror also. They might live in terror knowing what happened.
Okay, let me take this call from Oluwafemi. I'm sorry. But we all agree that what he's done here, this is criminal. This show of force is
criminal. What have the government done?
So we have a government that is incapacitated, obviously, to confront these kind of militants.
This is criminal.
Why is this criminal, please?
This is criminal.
Sure.
Don't we have a firearms act in this country?
Yes,
that kind of gun. See that long gun. I never see
criminal. This is not a legitimate security agency. No individual should have this type of arms and parade it on the streets.
And it was on video until now.
But we don't have government that is willing to combat and face this situation. Nobody. They won't do nothing.
They will not do anything because the people who have kidnapped, we're still negotiating if we should pay 100 million or not. Nigerians are upset. I didn't feel anything when I saw this because the news that gets me, excuse me, agitated is when I hear that a school was ransacked and several young children were taken away. We hear that people who have been taken away since how many years ago, some of them are getting pregnant and having children there. We hear that people who had the Abuja-Kaduna train that were kidnapped, till today, we are still negotiating how we are going to save them. Those ones that even saw the light of day. We're not even negotiating, yes. Those ones that even saw the light of day, they had to pay hundreds of millions to come out of it. That is what makes me feel bad. Seeing somebody walking on the street is left for government to decide this is against the law. We want to have a conversation with you. It's not my business. My business is the government should protect the people that they have promised they are supposed to protect. My business is that government should provide the infrastructures that will make Nigeria... See, Nigerians are suffering too much to be worried about somebody that is passing on their own with guns. That is not the problem on ground. What are you doing about the insecurity today? The Southwest states they've been hearing that they are all over the forest waiting for an information so that they can attack. What is the government doing? What are the Southwest governors doing? What are the Southeast governors doing? That is what infuriates me. Not that somebody is walking on the street.
Let me take this call from Bob. Bob calling from Jos. Good morning. Are you there? Hello. Good morning, Mr. Bob.
Hello, my sister.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, my credit has been burning. I think you people should know that it's very hard to get money now.
I'm so sorry.
You have been burning my credit without picking it.
I do apologize.
Money is very hard to come by. So that apart, well, I think we can see the level. We can see the level of lawlessness in this country. But from what you people have shown us, you can see the level of lawlessness. You understand? Does democracy permit lawlessness? That is the question I want to ask. No. Does democracy permit lawlessness?
No.
You understand? If democracy does not permit lawlessness, we should arrest this issue from individuals. It's just like a mountain having an army of his own. Where is it done? Like it's not Nigeria we used to know in the past. Where is it done? I kept on saying during Shagari's time, we don't see all this kind of a thing. You understand me? Even in the military time, during the Biafra time, we don't see all this kind of nonsense. Even during Obasanjo's time, we hardly see this thing being displayed. Yeah, you hardly see this thing being displayed. I think government should be very, very serious on this insecurity of a thing, because it's a level of insecurity. You understand me? When you see all manner of security of your network, in the past, we don't see that kind of a thing. What you see is police, what you see is army, what you see is the Air Force and Navy. That's all. But then you see all manner of security in the public.
Thank you very much, Bob, because there are various layers of this conversation. There's a layer that this is outright criminal. What was done, totally outright criminal, absolutely. And nobody's disputing that or arguing that. What we're trying to, the crux of the other part of this conversation is the fact that if you are living in that community today, and you're reading the papers, just like Tokwe has said earlier, that bandits are coming into your bushes, they're coming into your forest. You are seeing that people are being kidnapped, they're paying ransom every day. You are scared of your children going out. And suddenly you now see an Asari Dokubo, who is the guy down the street, carrying arms. So we have guns. Oh, so we have rocket-propelled grenades. Oh, we have this, we have that. Okay, maybe let me go and find a way to suck up. It doesn't make it good. It's worse because then they also have the flippancy where they have no control, where they can do anything. But you see, if you're living there, suddenly you now feel, maybe I should just go and pitch my tent with Asari Dokubo. That's self-preservation. Self-preservation. But what we need the government to do is to protect us. So we don't need an Asari Dokubo in our community. We don't need anybody buying guns. But my question is, where are they even getting these guns from?
I don't know.
Where are they even, where are they? How are these ammunition? Because I know they're not produced in Nigeria.
We don't.
So it's entering this through the ports.
Yes.
Who is inspecting?
That is the intelligence they should trace. Because we don't know. But those that know that the only way these guns can come into this country, there are channels. And those channels can be blocked. And if you block those channels, you will reduce the proliferation. Somebody I know, they kidnapped someone in their farm. It was in the papers. And the person was saying the kind of guns they brought. Wow. It was like you're watching all those American action movies. That and they were, according to the paradise of people and the Fulani people, a few of them were headers. And a few of them were not. They were foreigners that came there. They paraded people that they found culpable in this kidnapping. They had massive, as in the kind of weapon that you see in Oyibo movies, was the one they are using in Ogbomoso.
They can hardly, so those people, these are people that can hardly speak, but they can buy.
They were speaking Yoruba, Yoruba combination. I don't know about the English, but it's not about the education. But they were able to find their hands on guns. Yet we have millions or billions of naira going to intelligence reports and gathering, and we don't know how they are getting the guns in. It's not my own job to know where the guns come in now.
By now, we should realize that crime pays in Nigeria more than being good. Government begs criminals and pay them large sums of money. Northern has followed the trend of the Niger Delta bandits. If big criminals are caught, they are given good treatment. It's a vicious cycle. Emmanuel says, ordinarily, the state should have monopoly of violence over everyone. But this is Nigeria, not any ordinary place. And non-state actors comprising warlords and ragtag armies can freely brandish RPGs publicly, as in Somalia and Afghanistan, without fear of repercussion in the state. Andrew says, good morning, ladies. I will be very worried if a warlord starts to protect our community. This will mean the Nigerian nation is descending into Afghanistan full of warlords. God help us. That's how Afghanistan started in 1979.
Exactly. Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue this conversation and open our phone lines to get more calls. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're now opening our phone lines again to get more calls. 081-270-53687, 091-390-76948. Please tweet us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. You think that in the last 48 hours that this video came out, would have heard from the police, DSS, the army, somebody should say something about this. You know, the video goes viral and everybody just goes, Mom. You think in a proper state, in a proper country, we should have heard somebody say, we saw the video, we're investigating where the arms came
like
from.
the IG,
you know, like we're doing like somebody says, we must have heard something from somebody.
Are you
Those
sure
who go with
Let me go and
go
check
to
Twitter.
equity, you have to go with clean hands. What do you want to investigate? That somebody took a walk, even though we know that it's criminal to have all of those ammunitions. But he took a walk on the streets. He did not hide in the bushes. He was
You
walking.
must prove to us where he got that from,
Yes.
where he got, who he got it from.
Yes, but it's not easy to do it when you don't have the moral justification. You have failed in your own job. You have failed in protecting lives and
But
property.
the law backs you up to ask
excuse
those
me,
questions. The law backs you up as a
claimed
the
you were
police.
going to get to Kano jets to be able to erase all of the terrorists that have been terrorizing us. You have not done it. You don't have clean hands. You can't just question somebody without clean hands. Even if you want to show that force, you would have checked the caliber of the person you're coming to show force and understand the dynamics. The government needs to understand that Nigerians are vexing. Nigerians are upset. It's not about calling one person to question the person and negotiating with another that is even doing more criminal things. You need to balance it. What problem do we have? Insecurity. Who are those people perpetrating this insecurity? Terrorists and bandits. What have we done so far? How successful have we been in naming them, naming their sponsors? Because when you take them out, they bring more guys. You take them out, they bring more guys. So you need to name the sponsors.
No.
All the information that you said you have of the people where they stay, where they, the people who sponsor them, the people who put in funds, the people who are in government, till today we don't have them. Nobody's being prosecuted. And you say you have clean hands to go and question somebody who's walking on the streets. Let us face the problem. The Nigerian government knows that there's a problem in their hands. And I want to believe that right now they are hitting their heads together to see how they can solve the problem. I don't think this guy is your problem right now.
Okay.
So I think that you are correct. Nigerian government.
But let me pause you for a second. I'm sorry, Nima. You guys are holding. Good morning. Are you there? I have a call.
Hey, Morayo.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yes. My contribution is this. My prayer for Nigeria is for Nigeria to have the journalists, the media, to have freedom of press like we have in UK. Because I realize that you people are afraid to express your feelings sometimes, not BBC or media in Nigeria, like we do here. Not that the government has failed. The government knows what to do, but they choose not to do it. In Zamfara, they turban the leader of bandits as Serikin Fulani. What does that say to you? Because it's Fulani, so they don't want to kill the Fulanis, not to offend the president. That's exactly the turban the man, Serikin Fulani, the whole world watch it. In Zamfara. He said he didn't beg for it. And he went back to the forest as a Serikin Fulani. Read those people that have been kidnapped. They will tell you the same story. That is the same people. So they know what to do. They have the capacity, but they don't want to do it. I always tell you, when this government changes, you will see the reaction. You will see that security will go down. People will now act without fear. That is the problem. A 9-year-old girl was trapped outside London here. Within 48 hours, they are ready.
Okay, we lost that call. Nima, you're saying something.
Yes, I was saying that this is correct on the failures of the government. So initially we started to deal with bandits. We didn't have a title for them. We said we didn't have the weapon. We paid for Tukano. We celebrated Tukano never arrived. We celebrated the almost arrived. We celebrated the don't arrive. After arrival, we don't celebrate nothing. We just total mom.
But they
then
told us that
no,
couldn't be deployed because of the collateral damage.
That one was later.
Excuse
They said Tukano could not be deployed because they have not been tagged
Able to
terrorists.
prescribe.
So they cannot go there. They had to
them.
prescribe. So they went to
After the
court.
prescription.
Even Amalami go court. He went to court. He got them prescribed as terrorists. And the moment they got prescribed, we
They
don't
came
hear
up with
anything again. Now
another
we are
clause.
hearing collateral damage is
They
preventing.
did not know before.
You know, so we allowed it fester. We allowed it grow. So and Asari can be saying to them, "I will protect my people no matter what," and it will work freely. What I know for a fact is I doubt if the government can confront an Asari on this display.
So
That I doubt.
I went to check the president's Twitter handle. I didn't see anything. I'm trying to see the Nigerian Police Force Twitter handle.
While you're searching, let me take this call from Lucky.
if they have said anything concerning the video that went viral.
Lucky from Abulegba. Good morning, Lucky. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Good morning.
Morning.
First time caller.
Welcome to the show, Lucky.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your program. And,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. God be with you people. So I just want to chip in a little point. Well, the last caller have said it all. There's nothing hiding, so they know. They know what's really going on. But I believe the system of the government, if we can have the system or changing of the government, I get to me, everything will be okay. Our security personnel can do more, even our soldiers. But because of the power from nothing. Exactly because of the power. So if they can continue to remove our, I don't need to mention the impeachment, you see everything will change. Look at Obasanjo, nothing like this happened. During the Jonathan, nothing like this happened. But I don't want to say more. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You know, when you keep watching this video, you're thinking to yourself that, look at the level.
The audacity.
The level of emotion. So when Governor El Rufai was saying recently that he was the one that went to go and break the news to our president, that terrorists were threatening him, you know, that was so, I was shocked. When he said it, the president didn't even know.
That's an indictment.
Oh,
That the president didn't even know.
Our president is soft.
I don't
life.
understand.
Our president is old. Our president
Biden
is
is
a grandpa.
old, but Biden is working.
You know, and I've said this thing before, that the president, I do not support insulting the president. I don't support using bad language, because the president is old enough to be my grandfather. It's not a joke. If he could play, he can be my great-grandfather safe. So the conversation is never about disrespecting him, but he's holding the title of presidency, and he holds the life of Nigeria in his hand for the past 7 years. And we've seen how it's done, because prior to him coming, we didn't see things like this. Bandits did not have the nerve to call out the president. But 7 years into government, we've seen how the bandits can grant interview saying this. We've seen how somebody can make a chief out of Toban, a known bandits, because they want peace in their community.
Let me read this message. Peace in their community. Somebody said that Asari Dokubo carrying weapons is not the first time. It happened during Jonathan's period. We saw militants in the creeks with the ammunition. So why are you people acting as if it's the first time? Yes, it's not the first time we're seeing militants heavily armed. We're saying they're walking the streets of our towns. They're walking the streets of our communities. They're coming. Then they were in the creeks. You knew they were there. But now they're coming to town, displaying their ammunition, communicating to either me as a citizen, communicating to the government that I am here, or communicating to the bandits that I'm here to protect. So we don't even know who they're talking to. But they are communicating. We don't know who.
That if you try it around here.
Nima, we don't know.
I just want to assume.
What if they're also telling community that we are here, we'll come and collect your money? They could be different things.
What if
they are the community too now?
Police that we are here. So it can go any ways. They can be defined in any way.
When it comes to the bandits up north, they never attacked their own people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They attacked what they perceived as government presence because they refused to develop the area. But what now happened when the government met with them? When Yaradua came in, this was during Obasanjo. When Yaradua came in, finally, a government that wanted to sit with them came in. He had a sit down with them. They were invited to Asoro. They walked freely in and out. They left with their own. Nobody attacked them. Nobody locked them or arrested them.
So it's different.
So somebody listened to them. And when the negotiations and their demands started to be met, the NDDC, we saw that the area still didn't develop. But certain personalities
became upgraded
overnight. That is what we need to question.
Establishing schools everywhere. Let me take this call from Kingsley. Kingsley, are you there? I'm going to wrap up soon.
Yes.
You're live. Go ahead, please. Give me comments on social.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. You're live.
Please, I want to thank you for the good job people are doing.
Thank you, sir.
I want to do my contribution. Hello?
We can hear you, sir. Go ahead.
I lost confidence in government when I saw the video in Zamfara. A government abandoning a kidnapper leader. And there are security agents in that environment. And they were saying they are declaring wanted. I don't know whether it's a matter they cannot arrest that particular place. So I lost confidence in this government in this security. In this of Asari Dokubo, please, my sister, this man he's sending a signal. You might not understand what he is. One, he's sending a signal to Buhari, and I think you are safe. And you are failing your government. Call me, I can assist you to fight this bandit. Secondly, to be sending a signal to defend these people. Let me tell you, wherever you are living in Nigeria, now whether Abuja, whether in the north, whether in the east, whether in the south, and you don't plan to defend yourself,
You are wasting your time. You are wasting your time. Please, Asari Dokubo is saying so many things now. One is telling Buhari, have you ever in the history of Nigeria a stupid bandit bastard and saying they want to kidnap a sitting president?
I've said this like 50 times.
Thank you very much. Let me take a few comments on social media.
Olajumoke says, natives are given assurances by terrorists to protect them, which primarily is the job of government. Youth would rather join forces with anyone to protect their people rather than wait for the irresponsive government to protect them. Government may not be able to do anything now. Festus Akibewa said, sadly, there are many warlords in our country that consider themselves untouchable. These warlords should be behind bars, but we have a weak government. Chiedozie says, let's not be deceived. If we agree to let the devil protect us, he will exact a price we will not be able to pay. As long as whatever policing methods we subscribe to doesn't get it clear from the onset that we are their employers, this nonsense will continue.
Ogos almost says, true. Local warlords come up to help save their people from the terror of Fulani headsmen and Boko Haram. It is the government's fault. They did not deal with the Fulani gunmen. Until now, they do not want to.
Okay.
Rolake says, in Nigeria, it is unlawful to be law-abiding. Criminals are honored, but the struggling youth is being harassed by police. The greatest level of impunity started in the APC regime. Every Nigerian is depressed because Nigeria is synonymous to depression.
Okay, so we have to wrap up on this, but I think we all agree that Asari Dokubo's display of ammunition and parading of these things on the streets obviously is wrong, it's criminal. We're also saying that it's a strong indication to the government of the proliferation of ammunition across our country, and also the fact that the people feel that the government cannot protect them. And when they see warlords like this carrying ammunition, they somewhat feel safer. So the government must go back. There was a word I saw yesterday. Get back to your senses and see how you can ensure the safety of lives and property of Nigerians so they don't have to depend on the community warlords for protection.
Or fighting for
it's really even more sickening that our president was told by a governor that one of the terrorists were terrorists that kidnapped the Abuja-Kaduna train were threatening to attack him or to kidnap him. He was hearing it from the governor for the first time. Now, I wonder, does our president read the papers? Does he even speak to his security aides around him? So these are questions Nigerians are asking, especially now that the Senate is even instituting, the PDP of the Senate and the National Assembly are instituting an impeachment proceeding after 6 weeks. They're giving an ultimatum that after 6 weeks, they're going to start the procedure for impeachment. These are real issues. Is the president aware of these? Maybe he's not even aware they are trying to impeach him. They might not have told him. So maybe we need to keep talking about this so that our president understands what the gravity of what's going on and what's at stake for him, because it's sad to see this kind of display, and the police, the Inspector General of Police, is yet to say anything against this display of ammunition. We've not heard from any of them. They just kept mum. How do you feel safe as a country? Do we feel safe? That's all we can take on this. Give you something to think about. When we come back, move on to another topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Moving on to another topic. So no fewer than 63 bills have been tabled before the Senate and the House of Representatives for the creation of new universities, polytechnics, colleges of education since the beginning of the shutdown of activities. If you recall, Nigeria has 49 federal universities. We have 59 state universities and 111 private universities. And we have about 40 federal polytechnics, and state-owned ones are about 59, and private 76. So we have quite a bit of universities, polytechnics in Nigeria, but there's a bill currently being considered to create more universities. Do you think this is the right time, or do you even think there's a need for additional universities. That's the conversation this morning. You can call us again on the numbers on your screen, 081-270-53687, 091-390-76948. You can also tweet to us at TVC. Can I please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweet? Of course, since this consideration started, ASU responded saying that you are yet to properly fund the existing ones, and now you want to create more. But there's also an argument that there are lots of children, as you took during the paper review, that are disenfranchised because they can't get into university. We don't have enough of these universities. So is there a need? Is there a real, genuine need? And if there is, how best can we go to ensure that these youngsters who actually do deserve to get into university are not able to get into universities because of that?
For me, it's like you have not finished feeding your children. You are changing timetable, food timetable. You are adding another, let's have mac and cheese, let's have this, let's have that. And they have been drinking Gary since. Let's do balanced diet, and you don't even have the resources for it. I think we don't know how to solve problems in this country. First of all, in solving problems, you need to take a look at what is obtainable in other places you want to emulate. Like you want to emulate the good things of other countries and how they have been able to stabilize their economy. You realize that they don't have universities the way we have universities. They don't churn out graduates doing nothing the way we churn out graduates doing nothing. What we need as a country is to ensure that we have enough production factories, we have enough businesses, we support enough entrepreneurs, so that when people finish secondary school, even before they get into, so that you are getting into the university at the age that you are aware of what exactly you want to do. We have a lot of students who get into school who are doing courses. They have no business doing courses just because they want to have that certificate. And when they come out, they cannot use that certificate because they are not equipped for it. They still have to go back to school to train for other things. That time that you have wasted in that university doing what you're not even going to be using for anything, if you had used it to, first of all, mature into doing something, getting a job, learning a skill, the skill right now is the most important thing we need to focus on. So we work on the existing universities, equip them enough so that they are functioning without having this back and forth ASU strike. And then we go into the skill sector and equip that aspect so that those ones you feel are rushing to universities can first of all know who they are before they get into the universities. Opening more universities right now is not going to solve our problem. Which money are they planning to use to fund it when they have not settled ASU?
Okay, so the question is, all the millions of children that write exams every year, some of them are unable to get to universities because of this lack of, we don't have enough universities across the country to absorb these children. So that's part of the problem, and they're trying to solve the problem, but ASU is also saying timing is not a good thing because we have an issue with timing. Is it the right time to make this proposal? I'm trying to see the exact number of federal universities. I think they're trying to focus on agriculture, College of Education, and I think there was one more, I'll get it. But Tokwe, let me hear your thoughts on this.
So I agree that we need more institutions to absorb the students who are releasing from secondary school. The number of people that write JAM in comparison to the number of slots available in the university is very discouraging for those even writing JAM, because it's like you're trying to pass through the eye of a needle. It's really tough. However, this is not the right time. And you know, we do these things, and it's as if we need to do a crash course on emotional intelligence for a lot of our, like all leaders must do. Before you contest for any election, INEC should start doing leadership. You must go through leadership program. Yes, you must go to leadership program. You must do emotional intelligence. You must do it like NLP. You must start, like, you must just have some basic, you do some basic course to help you understand where you are going to and how to relate with people and what to do, because this is a good policy, bad timing, and we've had a few of that. We've had ASU strike since, I think it was February this year that they've been on strike. Since February they've been on strike, and between that time and now, we now suddenly have 63 new bills coming. Currently, we have more private universities than public universities. And Nima mentioned something very important during the weekend when we were raising this issue. She said the conversation should be increasing the university's capacity to admit more people. Because we still have lecturers. Our lecturers are going out. I met someone in Atlanta last year. Very brilliant man. is a mathematician. He was a mathematician in the university in the East. Oga is in university in America now. He's a professor in America. He's a professor that left Nigeria to the US and is lecturing there. Very smart young man. Looked at his life and what was going to happen being in a public institution in Nigeria. And he checked out. We think it is brain drain is happening in the medical sector alone. No. Our educational sector too, we are having brain drain. So when you set up these new universities, who are the lecturers? Currently, many private universities, the lecturers that are lecturing in public universities go and lecture in private universities, and they are tired to do the public university and doing more time because they get better pay consistently in private universities. We have a crisis on our hand. It is not about increasing the number of universities, but increasing the quality of what we are putting into the current university. Increase the theater hall. Use technology. We have technology. So have viewing centers. Let people receive the lectures. Only the ones that require physical practicals will be the ones we are opening more halls for. There are many things we can do. Let us think.
Let me come to you, Nima. Your thoughts?
I agree with Sokwe and BC, but I would bring the solution to Nigeria.
Let me pause you. I'm so sorry again. Austin has been holding for a while. Austin, are you there? Hello, Austin from Enugu. Thanks for calling. Hello, Austin. Are you there? Go ahead, Nima.
So I'll bring the solution again to Nigerians. The report this morning on the Punch says that between December 2021 and February 2022, that's 3 months, Nigerians spent, according to the CBN, $220.86 million on foreign education. If you convert it to Naira, it's 91-something trillion Naira. And ASU is asking for 1 trillion Naira of the money. And we're asking government, do this for us, pay subsidy, do everything in a country where we also refuse to pay taxes. Let's bring it on. I'm not a government person. No. For Morayo will think I am.
Absolutely. No.
I'm not a government person.
With you. This is my,
I'm just on this matter, just on it. Because when I saw the ASU president, I asked him. I know a lot of my lecturers. Professor Ekariale was one of the best in public law when I was in 100 level, and I was waiting to attend this class in 200 level. Before I reached there, he was already in the Harvard law school as a professor. So there's no kini there. I know professors of medicine in my own mother's family who, before I graduated, I was able to go and meet them. They're already in Harvard as professors. So they call it career growth. But there's also this flip side of it. Our tests for everything foreign. Our love for everything foreign, including the Nigerians who justify an education abroad, even when Unilag was still a good school. They will tell you it's exposure, it's travel, it's kinikon. And when their child is coming, do you know she just, come and greet your auntie. She just arrived from UK. Cambridge. Thank you. It was the test. And we did not know the flip. We did not know how this would affect the system. Even the president, all his 3 children, all of them. A Nigerian who is not Nigerian inside their hearts cannot change things here, including us, not just people in government. Yeah. And as we are growing and all we are looking at is, if it's not foreign, this conversation that we're having here now, we're already having it in my house. We're already divided.
Nima, let me pause you for a second.
And I cannot win.
You're going on the path that I think I really would want to go to. Because it's a hard conversations we must face each other to solve. Many of us, because if we think about it, many universities abroad today, many of them are having courses online. Go to Coursera. Go to Udemy. Many of them are telling you, go and take this course online. Many of our Nigerian universities are still, not struggling. Many of them, they have embraced technology, whether you like to believe it or not. Many of our Nigerian universities, whether you like to believe it or not, have embraced technology. Many of them, what you are getting when you go abroad is the abroad certificate. Because the truth is, what makes you excel is not the fact that you had poor education in Nigeria. What makes you excel is the resilience Nigerian university teaches you, the tenacity you learn from being in Nigeria, reading hard in Nigeria. That's what makes you excel, because the course that you are doing today, as of today, is not available. If the University of Lagos, for example, registers with Coursera, for example, many universities are doing this abroad, where they have their various lectures online. Many students, you can just be as equipped as your counterpart abroad.
Have they registered with them now?
Many of them are. What I'm saying, many
we need to do research on this. So let's be sure that Nigerian universities are online.
Some haven't.
I went to LASU under Professor Larry Fagbon's VC-ship. LASU has gone far on all of this. In every course that you were taking, tech was a new thing. And even then, Lagos State continued to improve structure. So I went to Lasso recently, I saw new lecture theatres. They are mass comm. They had the radio. They are improving. They are putting money in. But will Nigerians be willing to pay for the infrastructure? They will not tell you it's government owned. It should be cheaper. Wait. They locked down the school. When I was in 100 level, school fees was 14,000 something. They increased it to 28,000. We locked down school. We locked down school, and the same people would say, oh, masters or minimum in dollars. They will go and pay abroad. We don't want to pay here. We think that the exposure is also of value. And the people, when they come to market, there was one from Birmingham University, one professor that came to market us in law school. He sold us the foreign idea, the exposure, and I was just irritated. He told us that if it is not in the UK, you do this thing. And when your companies come here, when you bring your masters from Lasso, even though you've done your hard work, and somebody brings a foreign masters, they will take the foreign. They will tell you that they were well-trained. And the person when they need a dogged person who will do hard work, they will take the local. We need to shift mindset. This is us who are creating this problem more than government. Our taste for foreign, we must kill it. And if it's not packaged well, it's not giving one, we will not buy it.
So the truth is, we all need to be more patriotic as Nigerians. I agree. It has to go all round. But people have felt that I have made sacrifices. I've made sacrifices for this nation, and I desire a better life. But when I apply for a job, I know the fact that people that are from the abroad get the job better. So why would I put my children to be at a disadvantage when I can afford it? If I've worked so hard, I had to prove myself over and over again against my counterparts who were from the abroad, but did not have the competence and the resilience that I had. But I had to prove myself to get everything I've gotten. I will give my children that advantage of education abroad if I can afford it. Not everybody will go abroad. The average Nigerian cannot afford to study abroad. We still need the number of people that can only study in Nigeria. We still don't have capacity to handle them. That's the thing. Now, let's talk about the abroad. The truth is, despite all, and I appreciate the hard work of our lecturers. They are trying. They are intelligent. But they haven't. I would say again, you cannot compare. When we talk about business administration, let's talk about biz admin. Talk to the average graduate of biz admin. They don't understand what business development is. They don't understand it because the lecturer is teaching them, not encouraging them to create businesses. Our model of teaching needs to change. When you study someone else that did business administration in the abroad, in the universities abroad, the way they teach is different. Their goal is different. As a country, we need to work. We need to work with our lecturers to understand what is our problem as a nation. I am an employer of labor. I am cracking my head on a daily basis trying to get business marketers that understand what marketing is. Interview marketers and marketing graduates from Nigeria. They cannot solve any problem for my business. So we are talking. Business owners need a problem. Schools should feed us the graduate that we can employ. But we are not doing that. We are just turning out certificates to people in universities. You are a lawyer. You can meet the problems. The legal department of universities might be effective. But when we talk to business, entrepreneurship, creating, innovation, so, we are not turning out those solutions.
Fantastic. I'll come back to it. Let me take this, Ayo. Ayo, are you there? Ayo, you're live. Go ahead, please. Ayo, are you there? Okay, I think so. My brother-in-law is a doctor in the US, and and in fact, almost all of them they are doctors. And those Nigerian doctors they constantly talk about how the education they got from Nigeria was so foundational, and that's what they've been able to do. Yes, America exposes you to the technology, better ways of doing things, but that foundation they had. Many of them today are proud. They are grateful because they felt they had that background. So that's why I have an issue. If we constantly condemn the educational curriculum we have in Nigeria, we always do that. But as much as it is faulty to a point, but we must highlight the fact that it has built many people who are successful.
Us this far.
It has saved us.
But
so we can build on it, absolutely. It's not perfect, but it doesn't deserve the kind of condemnation we give it all the time. That's the point I was trying to make. Yes.
So I would not go the way of condemnation, but I would go the way of highlighting the facts and what needs to be changed. Most people who really make it in our educational system here are people who are book smart. So there are different ranges of intelligence. I will use that word. And there are different types of, there are different learning types for different individuals, different children. The Nigerian curriculum has not been able to has not been able to fine-tune it in such a way that they take care of every child, every student, and their learning abilities. They have not been able to get that one. So those ones who will come to schools here and make it are those ones who are just book smart. The students who have an issue, who have major challenges, are mostly the creatives who need a different system of understanding to be able to learn. Our education, I'm an educationist, and I'm saying from practice and from everything I've seen in my study, they have not been able to get that. Absolutely. That's where the problem is. Yeah. So abroad, they have understood the different levels of intelligence. And in each lecture in class, they will break it down that the visual learner will get it, the kinesthetic learner will get it, the auditory learner will get it, the reading learner, everybody will get it at your own level. We have not fine-tuned that. It's just a few very expensive schools now that do a lot of training in that. We need to focus on that. So, and then this child who has done very well, who is book smart, goes there and is excelling, and you think it's the educational system here that helped. No, it's the child. Because you can take two people out of here, and one will find their way, the other will not find their way. We need to break it down and understand it. That is where our educational system is faulting. Also, because of the fact that a lot of people want to go abroad instead of studying here, and we don't have those people abroad coming here, our educational system in terms of standard, we are not anywhere near the right standards.
Do you know that if I bring a white person from abroad and bring them to like he might fail? Do you realize they might fail?
Do you know why they will fail?
Yeah, why?
Because you teach with the lowest level of intelligence, which is memory and
recollection.
You focus on remembrance. You study, you memorize, and you give it back. So they will fail. They can't use it.
I can argue that.
They cannot use it.
Yes, you are right.
What they use there is application.
Yes.
So we are not teaching you to memorize. In fact, cramming is not allowed. It's plagiarism. You don't memorize. We teach you, and then we give you examples of how you can apply what you have learned without calling it the name. So they will fail when they come here. But we excel when we go there.
I've said it several times here, and I've used several examples where I came to the exam without my textbook, right, in the US.
Good.
And then I saw everybody bring out the textbook.
People still don't understand that example.
I understand.
That, you say you need to explain this.
Explain it well.
People when you went abroad, what was happening? People went to exam with textbooks.
So I had Law 101, and I was cramming all the various legal things in my head for my exam. Exam came, people came with their books because they don't want me to cram it. They expected me to know where to find it in the book. I get that. I get that, the application.
That's
I get
application.
That. But the point I'm trying to make is that our educational system is not as bad as we make it look.
But what are we creating?
I agree. And I also hear you, BC.
What are we
I
creating?
also hear you that there are various levels. That the smarts get smart and they're good. The creatives have a deficiency with our system because of the way it is done.
Yeah.
However, I strongly believe that God, I lost my train of thought.
So what are we? Sorry, please. Let me just add this a little. How do you know that an educational system is good enough?
The results.
When the people who you have educated are able to sit down and create solutions to solve their problems. That's the essence of education. That's why we went to school.
Enabling environment is not provided. You now can't.
Let's be careful to encourage.
But enabling environment.
No.
Let me finish.
I've not
please,
because I
understand.
let me
come to Nima.
because I've been chipping in. But I don't want because I started by saying that people travel abroad and they have a right to. I haven't had education abroad. And I do not believe that education in the formal walls is the only way to succeed. No, I don't believe that. I believe that every society must define what their agenda is. You can create 100 universities, and I will support 100 universities. If there is an agenda, if the government came up with this, if the bill was that our Greek industry has told us that they need engineers that would design seedlings. We import seedlings, Morayo. Seedlings. If the person that controls seedlings control your agri sector. So if you tell me that you want to create an agri sector that will produce seedlings, and you're creating 10 institutions across the political zones to meet this need, that is a goal-driven plan.
Let me Nima have the last word. I have to run.
Okay, so let's be careful. There's no perfect system anywhere in the world.
Yeah, true.
If certain areas are what we are going abroad for, no problem. But we cannot go abroad for every single thing.
Yes.
The creatives are not the example BC made. There are schools here. Yeah. And we could have even improved our system.
Yes.
But our taste will tell you that there's nothing good about our universities here.
Love that.
And go
so if you want
abroad.
to go and build planes, if you want to go to go abroad,
That
but
one,
if it's
that's their
for business,
department.
if it's for other areas, marketing,
Morayo,
business administration,
in Nigeria
this is where you need
here,
it.
in the school of Air Force schools here, we create pilots who can create planes. What they don't, no, let me talk. Please, let me talk. We can build.
Not that type.
See, that's why we are here. That's why we are begging somebody to give us Tucano. In Enugu, there somebody will create the weapon we need. We will not localize it. We will not trust it except it comes from Russia. We're never serious.
I agree with you on that.
We have to take
We're
going to take a few comments on social media before we wrap up on our conversation. One says, Morayo, there is no statistics to support that the present institutions can't accommodate the eligible number of students. Let capacity of our current universities be increased. Most of the legislators are bereft of ideas. They want this institution cited in their constituents as optics of what they attracted to this constituency. So it's not constituency project idea. So it's the reasoning and rationale behind this that she's talking about. Okay,
Akibo says, I don't support the argument that obviously about abroad university. I studied abroad and I can't see anything special. Recently, some students in the UK threatened to sue their universities because of the substandard teaching they received. Jay Powell says, how can the government even think of creating more universities at this time? Sometimes I feel these guys in the helms of affairs are not normal. Students have been on strike. It's been a yearly ritual to strike. Universities are poorly funded. Staffs are underpaid.
When we talk about pedagogy in the classrooms and how the presentation, the methodology applied in the schools, I think this is the issue, not the content. And I think that was the argument I was trying to make. Yeah. The content in itself is not outdated. And even if it's outdated, many of our professors are knowing to attract, updating, and they're going to technology, so they have it. But the method of delivery in the classroom is an issue. And that's where we need helping. Not that our professors are not doing, do not have the right content to teach.
And when I did the nurturing the natural training, I realized that most of these government teachers are aware of the pedagogy. But the power to do is where the problem is.
Okay, that's all we can take on the show today. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.